Hello, everyone. My name is Dolores Medina Garza. I am the manager at the International Welcome Center for Family Services. Welcome to our meeting today.
Thank you, everyone. So to get us started, on our screen here, can I get a thumbs up if you can see that, please? Okay, so today we are going over, again, all the wonderful offerings that our district has for your students in middle school and high school with respect to dual language. So a lot of your students may already be participating in dual language in elementary or in academy grades. And what today's session is to show you where else your students can continue to grow their language proficiency in both English and Spanish.
And here we wanted to talk to you parents about the Siempre Bilingüe Summit that we're going to have on January 30th, 2021 from 8:30 to 2:30. This is specifically for our parents. We're going to be talking about dual language and social cultural competence. We're also going to have adult education representative, and we're going to also have a speaker on immigration. We will be having a raffle or a giveaway, so I hope that you can join us on that day. To register, all you need to do is click on this link, or you can give me a call, Dolores Medina Garza, at 210-554-2592. We hope to see you then.
Thank you, Dolores. Dual language in San Antonio ISD has undergone exponential growth. Over the last few years, our department has worked really hard to expand the offerings that our community is asking for. So if you notice, this upcoming school year, your students in 6th or 9th grade will have the opportunity to participate in dual language at any one of our 45 elementaries or academies. We now have 4 middle schools, traditional middle schools that offer dual language, Harris Middle School, Whittier Middle School, Davis Middle School, and Tafoya Middle School will offer dual language in 6th grade and some of them beyond 6th grade beginning next year. If your student is entering the high school grade levels, we also have dual language available for them at Lanier, Brackenridge, Cass Med, and Edison High School. Each of these high school programs also offer additional programs beyond dual language that your students may be interested in. And so if you're interested in any of these programs in middle school or high school, we'll share our contact information. You can please reach out to us. We'd be happy to explain more the benefits of the program and specifically what it would look like for your student at that campus. Students who are participating in dual language or bilingual programs right now, who are ready to jump into 6th grade or even 9th grade, may have experienced the elementary dual language model. So we know that students who are currently in the dual language program are ready and are going to show success in secondary dual language programs in middle school or high school. Because our teachers in the elementary grades have done a really solid job of supporting students in developing both English and Spanish in the content areas, we know that your student is going to be successful in both middle school and high school grades with any supports that we or the campus or the teacher can give your student. As long as your student is interested in continuing that program, we would be happy to have them participate. These flyers will be available to you. So just really quickly, we currently offer for our 5th graders going into 6th grade, we have Harris Middle School, Tafoya Middle School, Whittier Middle School, and Davis Middle School offering dual language in middle schools. We also have Cotton Academy, Rogers Academy, Irving Dual Language Academy, Bonham Academy, and Mark Twain Academy, which are some of our more established academies who are continuing to offer middle school dual language in grades 6th, 7th, and 8th. For our high schools, those are the same offerings. We still have Brackenridge High School, Lanier High School, Edison, and Cass Med. So depending on your students' interest and the programs that these high schools offer, they can participate in those and dual language at the same time. For our students entering in high school, we are also looking to support them to earn high school and college credit in their 11th grade through a partnership we have with UTSA. So our promise to the community to provide a strong dual language bilingual program for our students in San Antonio ISD is continuing up until senior year and even beyond with our partnerships that we have with local universities and colleges. We're really committed to ensuring that our dual language students have all the opportunities available to them to take on any interest or any field of work or any continuing education that they'd like to. The goal of our dual language programs is to graduate our seniors to earn the seal of biliteracy. This performance acknowledgement is earned through participating in dual language and having taken a Spanish language course every single year that they participate in dual language. That is on top of earning their being reclassified as a student participating in non-dual language after earning advanced high on their TELPA school assessments. So when students at the end of their high school career are reclassified, they've passed their TELPAS, they've passed their high school EOCs and assessments. When they graduate, they will graduate with their performance acknowledgement or a seal of biliteracy, which is what the state says is deems this graduate is biliterate and bilingual in both languages and has shown success in the program. And so this is a very prestigious and very prestigious performance acknowledgement that our graduates are graduating with in the next school year. It's an honor to have this on your diploma, and it makes our students that much more marketable and appealing to interviewers, to people in fields of industry that students are looking to graduate and work for. Again, the importance of graduating our students, one of our goals is really to grow global citizens who can navigate the world, come back and impact the world in beautiful ways, and leverage the Spanish and the gift that they have to make change for everyone else. And so graduating students with that performance acknowledgement is going to get them closer to those opportunities and get their foot in the door so that they can really shine in both languages anywhere that they land. Now, beyond just us talking about the benefits and the beauty of the program, I wanted to share with you all some student testimonials. These students are currently participating in the dual language program at one of our high schools, and you'll get to see from their testimonials some different perspectives or takes on how that dual language program has sort of transformed their education and their lives. Can y'all hear that?
No, we cannot. When you share the screen, on the bottom it says share computer sound.
Okay, let's try this. Can you hear that?
No.
Yes? No? Okay.
No.
All right, so then I'll include this in the slide deck for parents for y'all to watch later on. But so what the students here are talking about are the benefits of the program at their high school and how much it's really changed their take on education, their classes. We'll have some students talking about how they now feel more comfortable engaging in instruction and speaking in conversations in class in Spanish, whereas before they didn't feel so comfortable doing so. And so what we're seeing with these programs is students really opening up and discovering themselves and their identity through receiving language, or through receiving instruction in their content classrooms in Spanish. And so this is really just more evidence of the beauty of the program and how it really is impacting students, not just academically, but at the soul, personal level too. These students are really, really growing into their own by giving the opportunity to dominate both languages in class in schools. And so we hope that your students get to participate in this program at their high schools as well. I want to pass it over to Monica, if that's okay, to discuss some of the goals of dual language.
Yes, we do have three goals in San Antonio ISD, and our three goals are bilingualism and biliteracy. And what this means is that we want all our students to be able to speak both languages, understand and be able to read, and academically be able to present in either language throughout their lives. Our second goal is high levels of academic achievement. And this is what we want for all our students, and dual language is not left behind. We do this, we strive this in both languages as well. And the most important goal for us is the social cultural competence, understanding our students, having lessons that are structured for our students to learn with the cultural relevance, with texts that they feel comfortable with. And so these are three goals for dual language throughout pre-K to 12th grade.
But you're still muted.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so we want to prepare our students for the 21st century. Today, the United States is probably the second largest speaking country in the world after Spain, after Mexico, because Spain's in third place. And so, what are we looking now in a workforce? We want if you look around the world, around your community, we're looking for bilingual students, people in the workforce that can speak both languages. And this is what we're giving our students, not only today, but I think in the future, this is going to be essential for our students to be successful.
And so what we see here is, again, just more evidence of that. What Monica just spoke to is how the options for our students in the 21st century workforce is really growing, for especially for students participating in dual language who can navigate multiple contexts. And so what we see here is just more evidence of that. On the right hand side, we see at Whittier Middle School, this was an article published in a local newspaper about dual language growing in San Antonio ISD. And then over here on the left, which you'll get to listen to later, is again more student testimonials from a neighboring high school in our district. So again, all of this is to say that the profile of dual language programs, of the dual language student, is being elevated to the standards that we know that they need to be. So employers, people of industry, educators are really seeing the importance and the presence and the value that dual language students are bringing to the workforce and to their classrooms, and really embracing that and working from that. Monica, do you want to speak a little bit about, or Luz, do you want to?
Okay, so why do we have dual language? And there's a lot of research that backs up how students can be successful in a program like this. And so bilingual education has different programs. And if you look at these programs, some of them are additive, some of them are subtractive, which means that we take away their first language, their native language. But what happens with dual language is we develop both languages for students to be successful. And according to this graph, this is Thomas and Collier. And what we've been doing here, these are our main researchers in dual language. And what they've been doing is they've been researching for more than 30 years on bilingual programs and the success of these programs. So if you look at these, we're going to be looking at the English immersion, which is just English only programs, transitional programs. So that what happens, and it's in the orange box. What happens here is that we give students enough Spanish to continue in English. The only program that allows students to develop both languages and have cognitive benefits is dual language. And if you look at this chart, students do really well in the early grades in all programs. So this is when students are learning to read and write. And so from first to third grade, if we put them in an ESL program, if we put them in a late exit program or dual language program, they do the same. But once you get to middle school, if you look at these lines, this is when we see the benefits, the result of going through a dual language program. If you look at the red line and you see that dotted line first, this dotted line means that this is the average reading level for a student, a monolingual student. So what happens to our students, both monolingual in English and monolingual in Spanish, is that our students reach that goal, higher levels, they understand more, they do better in this two-way dual language program and the one-way dual language program. And what this means is a dual language program invites both English native students with Spanish native students. In a one way, we only have our English learners or our native Spanish speakers. Okay, so both programs are great, but the two-way would be probably the best one because students are learning from each other. And what research tells us also is that students learn from socializing. So if you look at the very bottom, the best predictor for a long-term academic success in English is the extension and quality of instruction in the first language. So this is very important for our English language learners. When we extend the instruction in their first language, it's easier to transition into that second language because they're making those connections with both languages. This allows students to be successful. Yeah, and we have in Spanish also. Okay. So reflecting on our ideologies, before we start anything, we have to have a paradigm shift. It must happen because many of the times we're not looking at what research is saying to us. And so many of the times in the classrooms, we need to focus on that both languages are important, that Spanish has the same value as English. And so changing the way of thinking is very important first. And that's something that we do really well here in San Antonio ISD. We explain to our teachers, campus staff, administrators, there's a lot of training on to see this, to value the language, to value the culture, to value what students are bringing because students come with a lot and many of the times there's erroneous uh, ideologies where you feel that English takes over, that English is the language of success, but actually both languages help them be successful in the long run. And so what we want for our students is to have an additive program. We're not taking away their first language, but adding one more language to their repertoire. And a lot of other programs do have subtract their first language.
And so here we see a lot of the benefits that Monica was referencing that we've talked about, we touched on thus far in our time together. Um, there are a myriad of both cognitive, social, cultural, and economic benefits that our students gain when they participate and graduate from dual language programs. We know that research and medical research has proven that participating in dual language programs and learning two languages boosts the mental abilities and capabilities. It will stave off those sort of mental degenerative diseases, sort of like Alzheimer's or dementia. We also see that students or people participating who are bilingual have an increased creativity and problem solving skills. And so highlighting and working different parts of the brains in class and outside of class for our students is really shown to physically shape the brain in really unique ways that makes the brain just work that much more efficient and that much faster. And so we also see that translate into when they're receiving instruction, they're getting it, they're understanding it. The teachers are doing what they need to so that students are understanding, which translates to higher performance on standardized tests. We saw that chart earlier that Monica was talking about that shows the trajectories of students in different bilingual programs. And we saw that that red line for the two-way dual language program, which is what we have here at San Antonio ISD, has the highest achievement for students. The cultural and social benefits, again, are just as important. Be participating in dual language program. The third goal that Monica went over, the social cultural competence, is again one of the pillars of the dual language program. And so when students learn from different language models, when they speak to different students from different backgrounds and different proficiencies in both English and Spanish, we're cultivating a deeper understanding for different cultures. And because the dual language classroom relies so heavily on partner work, on bilingual pairing and collective efforts of the classroom, there's a natural respect for people that's generated through the dual language classrooms, and so the environment that you step into in a classroom feels and looks different. It's very supportive and reflective of the students and the community that they're serving. This also then results in an increase of self-esteem and pride in the language. Those student videos that I referenced earlier that you'll get to watch later are an example of that. You'll see a testimonial from one of our students at Linear High School talking about how before he didn't feel so comfortable speaking in Spanish, and now in his class, getting to practice with his classmates and his teacher, he's really owning that and loving it and taking more pride in his Mexican heritage. And then finally, the economic benefits, which I know a lot of parents are interested in for their students and their children. Um, Participating in dual language provides students with competitive advantage in the workforce. Um, in the medical field alone, there are over 800 more jobs available to people who are bilingual than there are to families or people who are monolingual. So just in that one industry, there are hundreds more positions available to our students graduating in a dual language program. That again opens up more opportunities for career choices. So being able to navigate both languages successfully in both the social and academic settings is where we want students to feel comfortable and to show their strengths and their gifts. Monica, did you want to talk about language development a little bit?
Yes, of course. And this is a little more research on what happens in a student's brain, what happens with bilingual students. And some of these theories are Jim Cummings and from 1981. And what we're seeing here, if you look at the BICS, when students are learning, this is a basic interpersonal, the basic language that students learn when they're learning a language, and it takes maybe 6 to 3 years for students to develop that social language, where students know the words, they know phrases. But when we want to look at students developing the cognitive language, the academic language, that one takes a little bit longer. This one takes 5 to 7 years to develop. And so if we want to see progression in a dual language program for a child, you need to wait a few years because again, it takes 4 to 7 years to really, really understand a language.
Thank you, Monica. And so
Yes.
just knowing a little bit about the research around how humans develop language over time will help us support our students in as they're continuing to grow and stretch their English and Spanish in secondary and high school grades. So we'll just be that much more patient with our kids, right? And so again, here's another picture of our dual language model in elementary grades. So here we see what our students in 6th through 11th or 12th grade received when they were in elementary. So kids starting off in dual language in elementary grades are getting a very, very supportive experience with their Spanish language. So they're developing the Spanish very heavily, as well as the English in the academic context, so that when they graduate to 6th or 9th grade, you see all this red in Spanish here? This is what their model looks like in middle school and high school grades. So again, we see that Spanish language arts is the core of our program. It's a pillar of our secondary dual language program. It's not an elective, it's required. So every year students will continue to take an advanced Spanish course so that by the time they get to 8th grade, they can take their Spanish AP test, which will earn them high school credits for that Spanish. Just because they earn those credits, we don't stop them there. In high school, we continue that advanced Spanish courses. So they'll take a Spanish AP literature, Spanish language, for example, and culminating in eventual advanced independent study or Spanish 5 or 6, or even dual credit at the universities. In middle school and high school programs, not only are students continuing to take a Spanish course so that we support their Spanish development in high schools, but they're also going to be taking at least one core content in Spanish as well. So in the dual language model, Spanish is not an elective, it's a core class, same as math, science, social studies. So in addition to taking a Spanish class every year, they'll also take either math in Spanish, science in Spanish, or social studies in Spanish, while continuing to take their English language arts every single year as any other student would. Some high schools and middle schools will offer electives or CTE classes in Spanish as well. Again, just so we're giving students a really well-rounded experience so that they're getting Spanish in different contexts and get to practice and develop that with classmates from different backgrounds. One example of what that looks like in our program here in San Antonio ISD is at Irving Dual Language Academy, which has grades, next year we'll have grades 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. These students naturally feed into Lanier High School, which is also a dual language high school. And so what we see here is what would your student experience on their schedule as a student participating in dual language at Irving Academy. So here we see a 6th grader will take Spanish pre-AP as well as science in Spanish. And they'll continue that for their career in middle school. And because we've been able to connect our dual language offerings in K through 12th grade, we see that vertical progression continue. And so this is in response to the community. This is what you all wanted. We want to, again, make sure that we're offering for our students dual language in any grade level that they like. So here we see once they get to high school, they'll continue with Spanish and science. Now it'll be an advanced biology class. In 10th grade, they'll take chemistry. And next year, we're very excited to offer physics. So this is the first time that we offer dual language physics in our San Antonio schools. And so this is what 11th graders at Lanier High School will take next year. Now, schools can offer more than one content area, and Lanier has chosen to do that. So students in dual language at Lanier will take Spanish, a math, and a science in Spanish. When they get to 11th grade, they'll also be taking some dual credit classes with UTSA. So classes like Mexican American Studies that will get them high school and college credit. But that's just one example of what that looks like for your students in middle school going to high school.
Rogelio, that's really exciting. And one of the wonderful opportunities that our students have here is the opportunity to earn college credit. So this is a very, very wonderful sequence of courses for our students that will ultimately provide them the opportunity to earn college credit in middle and high school.
Yes, thank you, Liz, for mentioning that. So again, we continue to be committed to offering our students opportunities for post-secondary success. So we're thinking even beyond our own high schools that offer dual language, how can we set up our dual language students to be successful in college and universities beyond? And so part of that is like what Liz mentioned, is offering dual credit, dual language in 11th grade at some of our high schools. So what that means is, so for example, this school year, Brackenridge High School's 11th graders in dual language have UTSA professors zooming in virtually with them to take government and economics. So that means that they're getting high school and college credit for that class that they're taking virtually with a UTSA professor. They have a high school representative in the classroom to help support them, sort of like a liaison that's going to be there to help with the professor and the students. And so even while your students are getting prepared to earn university or college credit in high school, we're still supporting them along the way and helping them in making sure that they're being successful in those college level courses. Next year, we're bringing on more high schools to offer that. So we'll have more options for our students across the city.
Thank you, Rogelio. We have a question in the chat box. Ms. Singh is asking, how can we sign our child for a Spanish class in the 8th grade?
Thank you for that question. So if you're interested in your student being scheduled into a Spanish class, I would inquire with your campus to see the campus counselor to see that they offer that and see how they can adjust their schedule. If your student is currently at a campus that offers dual language in 8th grade, such as Whittier or Bonham, then we can connect after the call to see how we can explore your options for dual language. Were there any other questions, Dolores?
Yes, there's another question. I would like more information for how my child can earn college credits in high school, and her children go to Harris Middle School.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so Harris is the wonderful program. They are one of our IB schools in middle school. And next year, they will be adding sixth grade dual language. So students who are in fifth grade right now who naturally fall into that feeder pattern for Harris can continue dual language education as sixth graders at Harris. I know that Harris also has a very strong offering of foreign language courses. So I would get with the counselor to see what opportunities our eighth grade students at Harris have for taking an AP test in either Spanish or French or whatever foreign language classes they're taking through the IB program to set them up for high school credit.
Thank you, Rogelio. That was the last question.
I have a question. My daughter is junior at Brack High School, and she's in the dual language program. Um, these types of things, like the dual language and being bilingual, since she was in pre-K, is this a detail she has to write in her resume, or like her college essay, or her GED will automatically have that bilingual seal on it? How does that work to prove that she graduated from this program?
Yes, thank you, Miss Moreno for being here and for sharing your success with your student in dual language at Breckenridge. So that's exactly correct. We want students to take ownership and take pride in their abilities. So yes, we encourage them to list that as a special something as a specialty that on their resume. Anytime they're interviewing, they want to lead with that. On their transcripts, universities will look to see what classes they took in high school. So those course codes will be on there. They'll mention dual language as part of the programs. As far as earning the seal of biliteracy or that performance acknowledgement on the transcript, that will come up when she's reclassified as a student in participating in dual language and graduate. So all she really needs to do is just successfully graduate, right? Meet the requirements for graduation.
Okay.
Because she's taking Spanish every single year, and as long as she is reclassified, she will get that performance acknowledgement.
Reclassified, what does that mean? Like pass the AP test?
Good question. So a student who is reclassified takes their English learner takes their TELPAS test every single year, and that's a test that the state gives to measure their English progression every year. So we look to see how much growth they've made in their language. So beyond that, they want to get advanced high. That's the listening, speaking, reading, and writing test. Actually, that's coming up in the next few weeks. So when they get advanced high across those 4 domain tests, and they pass their EOCs with no designated supports, they qualify to be reclassified. Ms. Rojas over at Breckenridge and I are in contact about our 11th graders specifically, because we're trying to get as many of them over that hurdle for 12th grade graduation next year. So we have an eye on those students for sure. But thank you for following up with that. And if you're able to initiate conversations with your student around her TELPA scores, that'd be a wonderful place to start.
Can you type that in the box for me, please?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Okay.
Mr. Nava, do you want me to explain on this piece?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. So some of the things that you're seeing here is just basically some of the strategies that we use in dual language in all classrooms. So we use these strategies from pre-K all the way to 12th grade. And we use red to identify Spanish and blue for English. And so the purpose of this is when you're teaching a class all in Spanish, you always have side to side the word in Spanish and in English. So what research tells us is that anything a student learns in one language automatically transferred to the second language, except we just need to have that academic language next to it so they know the label, the word that means. And so we use it as a way of bridging both languages, Spanish and English. And as well, when we're teaching in English as well, we do the same thing. We bridge onto the Spanish. And this really is for them to start making connections, to start thinking of the other languages, the similarities, maybe the sounds. Are they cognates? Are they ending differently? Do they have a silent letter, like in Spanish, for example? The H is silent. And so this is one of the strategies we use. And as you can see in this picture, we do it with the little ones. We start with the little ones as early as pre-K 3 and continue using this strategy in high school as well. And so what do we do? So we proud ourselves. Every single campus receives a lot of the labels for the schools. You'll see a proud banner in every single school We label the entire school from the bathrooms to the cafeteria, and it just becomes a strategy that goes throughout all our learning in dual language. And this is San Antonio is the strategy. Again, so again, we have more word walls, and this is how they look. What I was talking about, the academic word walls. If you see here, genome, this is science, and so they automatically see this in their classroom when they're teaching this lesson. And we also focus a lot on those cognates. Do they sound the same? Are they the same word? Is it close? And so this supports the development of both languages and concept attainment. So this is one of our teachers, and so we bring it as the kids start going to higher grades, we start making connections they're tiered, higher level thinking. And if you look at the last poster, we're looking at the endings, at every single ending in all the vocabulary words. We don't just look at them, are they cognate, do they sound the same? But we go more into depth in what are the connections with language, where they start thinking and using that meta languaging piece, which is thinking, higher order thinking in both languages. And so another strategy that we use and I said it before when we were talking about the research, we use students as their support. We use a lot of bilingual pairs. We make sure we have students learning from each other. And in an ideal dual language program, we have 50% of the students that speak English as their dominant language and 50% that have a native language in Spanish. And so when their students learn from each other, again, so research tells us that students learn from socializing. And so this is one of the things that we do other than activities where they're able to speak to each other in bilingual pairs. We also offer like sentence starters for both of them so that they feel comfortable in their lesson. These are a lot of pictures, and this is high school students learning with each other in bilingual pairs. And this is pretty much what you would see if you walk into a secondary and high school classroom. Students sharing and discussing, having dialogues.
And although these pictures were taken pre-pandemic, right? Our department's been really supportive of teachers in translating a lot of these dual language best practices into the online and virtual instruction. And so the bilingual pairs is really important for our students to be able to speak to one another, negotiate meaning of new learning. And so what we see that looking like nowadays is students are still working in bilingual pairs. They might be paired with a virtual partner or an in-person face-to-face partner, depending on what their instruction looks like. But on the whole, all these strategies are translating into online virtual learning as well. So there's no disruption in what we're offering as supports through dual language. We're continuing on so that students are able to be successful in their classes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the program expectations for dual language are we maintain high expectations across the board, regardless of the grade level. But so we wanted to share with you what that looks like at the different grade bands. And so in sixth through eighth and 9th through 12th grade, like I talked about earlier with the model, we have at least one area beyond Spanish that is taught in Spanish. And so everyone will take that Spanish language course, but then they'll also, on top of that, take a math class or science or social studies in Spanish. And that's the commitment that we've made for our families in grade 6, in all grades really, especially at the secondary level. With again, opportunities for students in high school to earn college and university credit at the same time. And so some of these classes that we're offering in dual language, dual credit are also taught in Spanish. And so this is university professors who have a track record of supporting our dual language students in the most supportive ways, are teaching university level content in Spanish to our dual language students. And so that again is a wonderful opportunity for our students to participate in. Again, with the goal of growing as many and graduating as many bilingual, biliterate students as possible. What we see here is every summer we'll have a dual language virtual bridge week or day where we get our high school students who are getting ready to take dual language, dual credit classes with UTSA. We bring them in the summertime and get them to sort of get to know each other, meet the professors, go over university and college expectations, different how to email your professor, how to cite sources, all the basic tenets of how to be successful in the university setting while they're still in high school. So we're really working hard to prepare them as much as we can in their 11th grade year. And then we see here, again, more publications acknowledging and elevating the status of our dual language students because that's where they belong. We were seeing a lot of more options growing in the UTSA with our partnership with them. And so now we have Mexican American studies with our UTSA professors being taught to our 11th grade dual language students. And so we wanted to go ahead and open it up now to families who have any questions or anything else that you wanted to hear more about.
I have a question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I recently, my son recently applied to, I think it's Fox Tech for the programs for them, like the nursing program.
Mm-hmm.
Do they offer the dual language at Fox Tech?
Okay, yeah, thank you for asking. So Fox Tech has a lot of wonderful programs that attract a lot of students in and out of San Antonio ISD. Fox Tech currently does not offer dual language just yet. So once the interest is there, and once we can get some systems in place, we'd be happy to offer that. It's we work with the campus administration directly to offer these sorts of programs based on community need. And so if there's a need for that, then we'd be happy to revisit that. But currently we don't offer that at Fox Tech, no. It's at CASMED, Brackenridge High School, Edison, and Lanier.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for asking.
I have a question again.
Yes, please.
So I have a 4-year-old. He's going to be going to kinder soon, and I do want to put him in the dual language program in SAISD. You had mentioned earlier about the elementaries. Can you list those, the top 3? I know I put Bonham on that list, but what are another top 2 schools that I could put as choice for our choice school?
Mr. Nava, do you want me to go ahead and address this question? Hi, ma'am. So we have 45 elementary schools that have a strand of dual language. Most of the schools offer the same program, but we have specialized schools that are dual language academies wall to wall. So like you were saying, we have Bonham, who has probably 1/3 out of 4 classrooms, 3 would be dual language, 1 monolingual. And then we have Mark Twain, who's that one's on San Pedro, and it's a choice school. And this one also has pre-K 3 all the way to 7th grade dual language. So that's one option. Then we have Irving Dual Language Academy. Again, this one is also all the way to 8th grade. Pre-K all the way to 8th grade. But we do have all the neighborhood schools, elementary schools that offer. And I can give you an entire list. We have it on the website as well. But if there's something that's close by to your house that you might want to let us know, and then maybe we can share. Do you live close to any middle school or?
I'm on the south side, so we would have to do a transfer to SAISD, but I'm not really familiar with any of these schools around here. I just moved here.
We have Schenck that offers dual language as well, and it's a great school. They've had a lot of great results. It's one of the top schools in the state, and
we're
so
in zip code 78221. That's our zip code here.
yes, I'm not. I would have to check on that to see which one it is. But if you want to call us in the office, we will gladly help you and look that zip code up. So you said it was
78221.
221.
Correct.
Can I call you back? Can you give me your number? Yeah, on the chat.
I could leave it in the chat.
On
yes.
the chat. Yes,
okay.
privately. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Ms. Moreno Valles, thank you for that question again. I wanted to direct you to just 2 resources Let me just screen share really quickly. So the first one is experiencesaisd.com. This website is a wealth of information, especially in this registration transfer window time. And so here we can explore schools by their program. So I can click on learn more, and once that loads, I can search for schools, and then here I'll see a drop down for some more school information. Just make sure this loads all the way. On here, there is an option to, here it is. So here you can see the early childhood centers. Here are the elementary schools. And so these will all take you to their individual websites. And I know that there was a way to filter by dual language programs. But another option, our department website always has latest information as well in addition to this website. So if you go to our saisd.net website, that's our main district website, and you head over to departments, and then bilingual ESL, we're the only one under the B. It's really easy to find. Click on that for us, and that'll bring you to our department's website. And so right here under dual language, you can click that, and we have a map that has our offerings. Now this is going to be updated to include campuses that are offering dual language next year as well. But so this will give us a pretty good idea of the more established programs that are already in existence and offering dual language up till now. And so this will give you, again, you'll see the bounds of the different school districts and sort of what campuses might be closest to you for your students. So this is just two more places to get some information about that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for asking.